To the window, to the brawl, to a chair upside your jaw. All these. Okay, but on a serious note, what's up, sweethearts? Welcome back to my channel. This is called The Smile Inside Your Heart. I make health and wellness content, also healing content, so you can liberate your mind, body, and soul. And so you can understand why that man had to be knocked senseless upside his head with a chair. You've already read the caption, you know why you're here. We are going to talk about the energetic and spiritual energy of August 5th, otherwise known as the Montgomery Brawl. Oh wait, before I get into that, I just want to say shout out to me. Today is August 12th, 2023, which means it is my 2nd year anniversary being locked. I used to keep my hair down because I wanted to showcase it. Yeah, unless you live under a rock, you know what went down on August 5th. A group of privileged white people thought it would be cool to jump a captain of a tourist boat for just doing his job. We all know the story. We all saw what happened, and here we are. However, for the Black community, it's really important for it to be known that this was deeper than just a long overdue fight. For the Black community, a lot of us felt spiritually renewed. Now, it's terrible that it had to come to violence for Black people to get their justice against racist white people. However, justice got to be served some one way or another. It's either going to be served legally or it's going to be served with a chair. One take that I don't see circulating a lot is what was going on spiritually and energetically. So a quick history lesson. This is very important to know. You will have a better understanding of the context of the situation, knowing the history behind Montgomery, Alabama, and more specifically, those docks where the brawl took place. The riverfront in Montgomery, Alabama was a very prominent and lucrative enslaved African trading port. So you can already assume that there is some disturbed, unrested spirits lingering about on those docks. Not only were they brought in on those docks, they were marched up onto the land and sold on auction blocks. That was a market for buying, selling, and trading people. Not only was it a market, not too far away are the dungeons. The dungeons that these Africans who didn't get sold, they would be put into holding dungeons for days, weeks, and months at a time until they were sold. Now, we all know what a dungeon is, but we don't actually think about, what that looks like and what that feels like. Basically, they were held in deep, dark, windowless caves surrounded by other suffering people in their own fecal matter and death and decay of decomposing corpse. So that is still currently in Montgomery, Alabama. They have transformed it into a museum to preserve the history of that place. So just laid it all out for you. Moving into the set, okay? So the boat was called Harriet Tubman. Harriet, catch these hands, knuck if you buck, Tubman. If you don't know your history, know this one thing. Harriet Tubman played no games, okay? Additionally, and this is what people don't really know and what really solidified the presence of the ancestors for me, is the fact that 2 hours before the brawl took place, a group of Black women came to the docks with flower offerings for the fallen enslaved people who were there. Now, this is an example of root work. I talked about root work briefly in my journaling video. Root work is basically working alongside your ancestors, and one of the components of root work is leaving offerings as thanks and strengthening the ancestors. So just the proximity and time between them doing that offering and the brawl, yeah, you had it in for you. You were going to catch these ancestral hands. I'm talking to my fellow Black people here. If you don't take anything away from this event, understand the strength you harness when you are connected to your ancestors. A lot of Black people in America, we have been taught to be afraid of our roots. We have taught to demonize our roots in Africa. The message I'm sending right now is that your ancestors are the strongest mediator to the source that we have, okay? Because they've come before us, they've transitioned on, and they know. That's all I'm gonna say. They know. Now it's just up for us to know ourselves. Now let's talk about what was going on energetically while this was happening. So, I got my astrology notebook, you know me. Recently, a follower of mine introduced me to astrocartography. Astrocartography is a branch of astrology which basically is looking at geographical locations in correspondence to the planets, the stars, and everything, and the energy that comes about in that way. Literally every coordinate on this planet carries a different energetic frequency, including Montgomery, Alabama. So I looked it up, came up with the results. It was so spot on. It was like, yeah, that makes sense. So let's get into it. You know, I have to take my notes. Gotta be thorough. Okay, so let's get precise here. It was Saturday, August 5th at 6:55 p.m. when the first blow was thrown and the brawl was kicked off. Now, as you can see from the astrocartography chart, the line doesn't completely intersect with Montgomery. However, the higher power of this coordinate exists on the western side. That coordinate represents the Pluto ascendant. Pluto is the planet of transformation, death and rebirth, profound changes in the self and others, repression of the subconscious, power dynamics, and anything intense, passionate, and things that are tucked away in your shadows. That makes complete sense because it was a transformation. This is the first time we've ever seen a group of white people get their behinds handed to them and they were arrested. We usually see the other way around and no justice being served. This one here I think is really interesting. Repression and the unconscious mind. I think that is very spot on because everyone knows that there is really, really strong racial tension, especially in the South, but just in general among the white and Black community. We go about our lives, we coexist, but that tension is always going to be there. And I think in order to coexist, we push it down and we repress it. So that way we can continue to live in peace. However, those repressed emotions definitely came to the surface and were completely visible for the entire world to see, which again leads me back into that transformative Pluto nature. This was broadcasted throughout the entire world. My friend said that she heard about it while she was in Jamaica. You saw the Netherlands, it's in the face of the world. Things are not ever going to be the same. And then the energy of passion and diving into our shadows. We have really, really deep, unhealed wounds as a country. America has definitely pushed the racial injustices into our shadows as a collective, and this right here is what finally brought it up. The description gave a little bit of guidance on how to deal with these shadows. Be prepared to abandon old patterns and habits and attachment to old ways in order to see a turning point. So that right there is the theme. We can actually be aware of the energy that's supporting us right now, tap into it, and move forward. And I mean like the Black community, the white community, everybody, and really figure out how this affects you and where in your belief systems and thought patterns, either one, helping the cause, or two, not helping the cause. That's basically what this Pluto energy is asking us of. Think of ways in how we can transform moving forward from the situation. Moving on. Pluto ascendant is also in association with Lord Shiva of the Hindu religion. I'm not Hindu, but there is some connections between that religion and astrology. Lord Shiva, come on, Come on down, Lord Shiva, because he is known to be the Lord of destruction and rebirth. If the spirit of Lord Shiva was anything that happened in that day, he definitely was that chair. Lord Shiva had to get his licks in before returning to the spirit realm. All right, that's all I was seeing. So what was the alignment of the planetary systems during this time? That week, the full moon was in Aquarius. If you have an Aquarius in your life, you are blessed. Be grateful, because we are absolutely for the people, for the planet, and for life itself. What's up with Aquarius energy? Just a side note, we are in the age of Aquarius. Aquarius people are the humanitarians of the zodiac, like the tree hugger. Our motives are to benefit the masses. We don't just think for ourselves. We think, how is this going to benefit humanity? We are also very unconventional. We take the road less traveled by when solving problems, when navigating life. Liberate the people, man. Do it any way you can. August 5th, the moon was actually in Aries. Now, Aries, they get a really bad rep. However, if any sign was to get the job done on August 5th, it definitely was Aries. When an Aries has its mind set on something, they're going straight forward and nothing's getting in its way. Just like Aquaman, when he hopped off that boat, dove into the water, and swam himself onto those docks. We gotta have a moment for Aquaman, also known as Jamichael Phelps. I don't ever want to hear anybody say that black people can't swim, and we have to erase that stereotype from our brains, because clearly black people can swim, and now I'm even convinced that black people are the best swimmers on this planet given the chance to learn. This man dove into the water fully clothed with Jordans on. Now, we all owned a pair of Jordans. We know how heavy them things are, okay? Can you imagine how heavy they are soaking wet? That man had 2 cinder blocks on his feet, and he swam across that water. I'm talking full stride. Hold on. And then, on top of that, he hoisted himself up at least 3 feet above water. Nothing but bicep and tricep. That was absolute supernatural powers he had in that moment to get himself from that boat to the dock in a matter of 30 seconds. Come on now. Quit playing with him. Yeah, like I was saying, the moon was actually in Aries, supported by the full moon that was in Aquarius not too long ago. Now, Aquarius actually is an air sign, and like I said, Aries is a fire sign. Now, as we know about the laws of nature, what happens when we combine wind and fire? We get a wildfire, just like those ones in Hawaii that destroyed a huge portion of the island of Maui. Hashtag climate change. Yeah, so when you combine wind and you combine fire, you get a wildfire, you get chaos. And that's exactly what happened. Last but not least, my favorite part of all of this is the fact that today is August 12th, so that marks the ending. But during the time, we have been experiencing Lionsgate Portal. If you did not tap into Lionsgate Portal, there's always next year, but man, you missed out. The energy is potent. I really want to talk about Lionsgate, but I think I'm going to save that for another video because it's very deep. All in all, if you take anything from this situation, it is that these spiritual, ancestral, and energetic hands don't come to play. And if you want to mess around and find out, you can definitely mess around and find out given the right alignment of the stars. Just saying. All right, sweethearts, that was long and winded, and it's really freaking hot in this room, so I'm going to end it there. Before I go, I just want to say thank you again for all the support that I got on my previous video. That's a more lighthearted video, so if this one's a little bit too deep for you, be sure to go check out my previous video on how I essentially healed my inner child through taking dance classes. I will link that in the description below. I keep saying that, but then when I go in the description below, it's not there after I had linked it. So I'm going to figure out how to do that. If it's not linked, I'm not trying to bamboozle you. I'm still learning how to do this whole YouTube thing. All right, sweethearts, that's it. Once again, I am so happy that I got to do this with you guys. Every single video I do, I gain more and more confidence, and I have to owe it to your undying support and love that you send to me virtually through the screen. If at any moment something is resonating with you, I would love to talk about it with you. If you're someone of the Black community, I encourage you to take some time for yourself and for the ancestors. I encourage you to talk about it and have a group discussion on how we feel. I think this is a perfect time for us to actually mobilize and come together rather than existing in the division that was created against us. I know a lot of people had said, like, I'm so proud of y'all, I love y'all, and that besides the brawl and justice being served, we really needed that more. We really needed to see firsthand that we actually do love each other, and that at the end of the day, it ain't nobody but us. So I encourage you, my beautiful Black brothers and sisters, find someone Black in your life, give them a hug, tell them you love them, meditate, de-stress, you deserve it, share love in our kinship, follow the smile inside your heart, and we'll see you next week. Bye, sweethearts.